Yo, what is going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka The Clockmasters. Today we're going to be talking about the Netflix movie Tall Girl. So this is going to be sort of a review, just thoughts, brief thoughts, and sort of spoilery slash non-spoilery. So if you're on the fence of watching this movie and you don't want any potential spoilers, then don't watch the review. Watch the movie and come back and watch this. If you've already seen it and you just want to hear my review, then stay for the video. I got some things to say about this film. So the movie Tall Girl, in a brief synopsis, is about a girl. Obviously, she's tall. She's about 6'1". Her name is Jodi, and it just kind of takes place with her going through this school, dealing with bullying and harassment of her being this overly large and tall female in the school. Everybody just happens to be super short, and there's a lot of insecurities and status stuff, basic teenage tropes for these types of films. So that's just the long and short of it. She kind of gets caught up in this sort of love triangle, if you will, and she kind of faces challenges with herself and her identity and dealing with the fact that she's actually a tall person. So how did I feel about this movie? Now, I watched this movie with my girlfriend, and we both enjoyed this film. Like, we both liked this movie, and I personally enjoyed this movie. I liked the idea behind it and the message they were trying to share with this film about, you know, sometimes tall people might go through problems. I don't know, some people might not be proud of their height. I can personally tell you, like, I have a cousin, she's like 11 years old, and she's about as tall as me. I'm about 6 feet. She's like 5'11", 5'10", around there, and she's tall, and she's just getting taller. She's the tallest one in her whole class. So, but I never really known her for getting like harassed or bullied because of her height. People would just, I would guess, like family members would just laugh and say, wow, just look how bigger she is in comparison to other students. But we would never, or no one ever really harassed or bullied her for it. I've never really even asked her about it, but I never heard her complaining about it. So the idea of a tall girl being bullied is not something I hear too often. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So them kind of spreading light on this and the potential for a tall woman or a tall girl to be bullied is out there. It's kind of interesting to see a perspective on something like that. So now Jodi comes from a pretty well-off family. Her dad, obviously her parents had some type of money. Her mother is this woman that she used to be, I guess, a pageant lady, and her dad, one that's just kind of struggling with the fact he's concerned about his daughter, and he doesn't want anything bad to happen to her because of her abnormal height and her just growing at a rapid pace. So that's kind of what we're following along here. She's an older sister who's played by, I think her name's something Carpenter. I forgot her name, but she's also in a pageant thing. And what I liked about the sister's relationship was that just because she was the more prettier, normal sized or normal height girl, it didn't really affect their relationship as sisters. They both had a very good relationship. The older sister wasn't acting as if she was better than her, and she didn't act as if she was, oh, I'm this, I'm more prettier than you can do this. I mean, it was more of a like, I'm your big sister, I'm here to help you with your issues and your concerns. So the movie also has this approach where Jodi, and maybe potential spoiler, kind of falls in love with this foreign exchange student that happens to be around the same height as her, and she has his best friend or two friends. This guy that's just so overly smitten with her. He's super short, and her best friend, and her best friend is the one that kind of sticks up for her a little bit more during this entire film, and that was kind of cool to see. People, but they had this one weird thing where everyone in this school just seemed to bully her because of her height. Now, I read briefly someone else's review, and a point was raised. There isn't a basketball team in this school. There isn't a swimming team. There isn't a volleyball team. Somebody didn't try to recruit her to play somewhere in one of these teams. Her height is perfect for one, being a model, America's Next Top Model. A lot of those girls are very tall and slender. She could have been a volleyball player. There's tons of volleyball players that are like over 6 feet tall or taller than that on professional teams and college teams, basketball teams. I mean, my high school had a volleyball team and a basketball team and a swimming team, even though we didn't have our own pool. We had a swimming team though. So I mean, I know most high schools have some type of sports team. So it's just kind of weird that option wasn't brought up. That could have been a very good plot element to use in this film, with there being some type of sports team that wants to have this woman or have this girl on her team, on their team. But she's just this person that's just tall in this school, and she's just so tall, and and she doesn't fit in with anyone, and no one wants to, you know, necessarily be her friend, or everyone's just following the crowd, and it's just status quo. You have your typical bully trope. She's the bully, I'm better than everyone, la la la, and you know she has insecurities. And then you're dealing with all the other followers, the people who are following the bully. So it's normally more of the same old types of tropes that you would see in these types of films. But in the end, with some of the minor negatives, some of the things being pointed out in this film, I still felt this movie had a very good underlying message about self-awareness, I guess, even though they had a different way about going about it. But, you know, they're just trying to say, man, because look, if you're known for having some type of insecurity or something in this world, there's going to be a movie about it, okay? There's been movies about minority groups. There's been movies about black folks. Plenty of that, dealing with racism in school. There's been movies about LGBT community. There's been movies about people from being from a different country. Movies about immigrants. Movies about being short. Movies about being fat. Movies about being too skinny. Movies about being now tall. Movies about having bug eye. Movies about having freckles and orange hair. Like, there's movies about all those little types of. Some are not little. Some more little than others. Some are actually big, serious situations that need to be addressed. But there's like a movie for everything out there. So I just thought it was personally interesting to see a movie about a tall girl going through some type of adversity with her being tall and her dealing with that. So I thought it was a good idea and to make a movie about it, and because you never know, there might be some other tall women out there who don't have confidence in themselves and don't necessarily, you know, see themselves as attractive or feminine, or they might see themselves more masculine because of their tall, you know, being tall and wearing big shoes and having big hands. So there's a movie out there for someone, and I'm not gonna bash this film and say it's horrible, because there's a movie out there for someone. This movie might be good for someone else, and it could work for them. So it does a lot of good things right, and it also does some things that are very cliche. They actually switched around some things, you know, from being too cliche and actually being, you know, more realistic in some areas. And, you know, some characters are likable, some parts of the plot where it's like, okay, they have this issue with this friend, and then they never address it until the end, and it's just like, this is like, huh? But all in all, guys, I would say it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty average. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I enjoyed it, and I would definitely watch it again. There's things I liked about it, and the main character who's playing Jodi, I felt like she did a good job in, you know, being with this role, especially I felt there's a lot of realness coming out of it for her as someone who's actually dealing with this in her personal real life. So I think it's kind of cool to see that being translated, but just some of the other students didn't seem too realistic or relatable. It's just like everyone's just being overly mean for no reason, and the antagonist of this movie, I would say, I wasn't satisfied with how they ended it. With certain stuff, I kind of wanted more of a cutthroat ending. But in the end, guys, what would I rate this movie? Because I'm going to ramble on and on, but what would I rate this movie out of 10? I would rate this movie a 7 out of 10. I actually don't think it deserves the 40% that it got on Rotten Tomatoes, because I felt like the message behind the movie and what they were trying to do with the film definitely got through. Yes, there were some issues that could have been fixed properly. Granted, you know, if they spent more time on certain areas, but other than that, guys, I really felt the movie was pretty solid. I don't think it deserves a 40. I would say it gets, in a percentage scale, maybe a good 70, man. I would give it a 70. I don't think it was that bad. I've seen worse, honestly. Worse, and some other movies that I feel deserves a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes never gets it. So I think the movie is pretty good, man. I would give it a solid C+, B-, or B. Matter of fact, I would just give it a B. I give it a solid B, and it's a very enjoyable film, man. Is it comparable to a lot of other big blockbusters or some other great movies that came out on Netflix? No, not necessarily. But it's not, like I said, it's not the worst thing I've seen on Netflix. Other things that I forgot to mention in a review, obviously you mentioned the soundtrack was nothing too memorable about the soundtrack. They had some key choices in the music that they chose throughout the film, but that kind of went with certain scenes, but nothing too standout-ish about the soundtrack of the score of the film. The way they shot certain things, I felt cinematography was okay. I felt it was pretty average from what you would see in a normal movie on Netflix. It kind of reminded me of Dumpling in a sort of way, but Dumpling kind of had, and matter of fact, it didn't remind me of Dumpling. Dumpling had a different type of film style to it, which is, it's actually a lot better, I think, in my opinion, with Dumpling. That's a completely different story. But the cinematography, as I mentioned, I think is pretty okay. Nothing crazy about it. And the script and some of the characters, some of the lines were was kind of whatever. The antagonist was kind of like your typical copy and paste Megan Fox from I forgot that movie with Lindsay Lohan. Was it What I Like About You? I forgot what the name of the movie was. I totally forgot what the name of the movie was. But she's your typical copy and paste bully in high school that has her insecurities but wants to bully everybody else. So there's nothing too special about her. As you know, her acting is basically copy and paste. You can find her character in almost any other teen drama or any other young adult film. I'm 100% will find her character. But that's it. That's about it for this video. If you guys enjoyed my little review, discussion, thoughts on this film, let me know your thoughts in the description box. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Please make sure to check out the schedule on my community tab and also my social media so you guys can see what videos I have coming up for the rest of the week. Thank you so much for watching. Clockmaster out.